Mottainai is a very important word here in Japan, and today we're going to be talking about what is more wasteful, the things in the US and Canada or in Japan. Hey everyone, welcome back to another, what should I do with all this extra stuff? I just throw it away. Episode where the hosts, my name is MJ.
My name is Adam.
We welcome you to another episode of MJ and Adam Show, where you can join in this English conversation, become the third friend, pick up some new words, phrases, but the biggest part, most important, get that feeling of English because it's not something you can find in a textbook. Today's topic, everyone, we're going to be talking about what is mottainai. So this is a kind of interesting word to translate. I feel like once I've gotten a good grip of the Japanese language, it's really convenient to just say, mottainai. Where in English, you kind of have to figure out, depending on the situation, what word you can use.
I think the common or most common thing to say is just like, oh, what a waste.
Is that natural? I feel like that's not natural. Personally,
I would say it, yeah. Like, oh, what a waste.
And depending on the situation, like, okay, so just recently, right? Yeah. Halloween happened. A normal thing in Western countries, especially in North America, is to make a jack-o'-lantern.
My kids and I cut the jack-o'-lantern up. They had a good time. I had 2 pumpkins and I was carving both of them. And as I was carving the pumpkins and pulling out the pieces, I was thinking to myself, wow, mottainai. When the pumpkin and when Halloween is over, the 2 pumpkins that I bought with money that I worked for and earned are going in the garbage as well. So this activity of making jack-o'-lanterns I thought was kind of like a waste of the pumpkins, which could be used to make pumpkin pie or pumpkin soup. Or I mean, I could have done that, but I didn't because we're using them for this activity of making jack-o'-lanterns, which is fun. But on the other hand, we're kind of wasting the food. And on the opposite side, going to the grocery store, a lot of them have huge boxes filled with pumpkins.
And majority of those pumpkins, those boxes and boxes of pumpkins you see are there for jack-o'-lantern carving.
Right.
So all of them are going to be wasted. They're going to get thrown in the trash. Now, during the ehomaki season, that's a whole other topic. There's a lot of wasted food, I've heard, in Japan with supermarkets creating too much pre-made foods. But one thing that I do want to point out in Japan is that it's still a thing that people talk about a lot more, I feel, maybe, than in North America. The idea of just being a little more eco, I feel is taught in North America, but do people practice it so much? I feel like there's a lot more eco bags, I feel, in Japan, maybe than in North America. How is it in Canada?
The more people use eco-friendly bags for grocery shopping, because a lot of the grocery stores don't offer plastic bags. In that case, yes, they do practice it to a certain degree. However, the waste side, the elimination of overproduction is not to that extent yet, I feel. Like certain things, yes, certain things, the whole plastic side, they're trying to cut down and cut back, which is good. But there's still overproduction. There's still these things like pumpkins and for different festivals, different events throughout the year, making too much, and then they just disappear.
I think food is a tough one because I think probably most countries will be making a lot of food and not everyone's going to be buying it, So let's look at other things outside of food. What are some things that you think Japan does good at not wasting or kind of, recycling, maybe reusing?
In general, recycling. But also the recycle shops.
The recycled
shops, where it's always a win-win
secondhand
for
shops. Yeah.
Secondhand shops, secondhand applications, websites where you can exchange goods and services. Maybe not so much services, but that whole idea of secondhand is very big in Japan. You can make a little extra cash if you want to, but on the other side, you can also get rid of things that you don't need anymore without throwing them away. In Canada, we have this place called the Salvation Army, where it's things that you don't need, you donate, you give them for free. And the Salvation Army will sell them to other people, I guess, and use that money to help fund things.
There's a big thing, chain stores of used goods in Japan, not only clothing, but, there's plenty of electronics or video games, a different type of house appliance, furniture. That there's these big stores that you can find, and a lot of them compared to North America. I mean, dude, there's even used tires that you can get for your car. Like, that's like, what do you mean used tires? Nobody wants used tires. They're used, right? Well, let's look at other things like used cars example, right? In North America, you can see a lot of cars like from the 80s. Maybe they're not the best, but they can still work. People are still trading it or selling them. Where in Japan, everyone has a new car for the most part. And I'm like, where are all the old cars going? So it's an interesting thing, this mottainai, being wasteful. What are we being wasteful with? Different cultures, different countries have different ways to handle it. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for hanging out. Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think about this topic of wastefulness, being mottainai. Subscribe to the channel and like the video.
That's it. We'll see you on the next step.